Hey everybody, it's Karen with Food and Family, and today I'm going to make what I'm going to call a tomato and onion tart. And it's not made in a tart pan, it's made in a small sheet pan, but I'm still going to call it a tart because it's going to be delicious. Now we know 4th of July is coming up, right? So I'm trying out some things that I want to make for the 4th of July. And this is one of them I've made a long time ago, but I want to make it again. So I've got some Roma tomatoes and some onion, and I'm going to start cutting these. Now I want to slice them. I don't want them too thick, maybe 1/2 inch thick. And we're going to cut our onion about the same and put it over in this bowl. So I'm going to cut one more of these tomatoes and show you, and then we'll cut up some onion. We have not planned a big 4th of July this year. We're going to my brother's, one of my brothers, I have 3, and he is going to cook for us. I'm excited about that, but if you know anything about Southern women, we don't go anywhere empty-handed. So I'm going to fix something to take over there, and this may be it. So I'm going to cut my onion. Now, this is a Vidalia onion. If I'd had a white onion or a yellow onion or a purple onion, I would have used that. So whatever kind of onion you have will work. Now, I'm going to cut it in half. You see I cut off the ends. I'm going to cut this in half with my very, very sharp Rada Knives. Guys, I'm going to put the link in the description box below this video for these knives. And if you don't have one, I wish you would consider getting one because they are absolutely amazing. They stay sharp forever, and they're just good knives. They've been around forever. My mother and grandmother had them. Okay, so I'm going to, you see I cut them in half, and I'm going to try to cut these onions about like I did the tomatoes. I keep that little bag there, you've heard me say that, to put scraps in. Okay, so I'm going to cut my onion, try to get it close to the same thickness or thinner than my tomatoes, because actually the onions will probably take longer to cook than the tomatoes, so I want them just a smidge thinner. And the reason I cut my onion in half, if I'd had a smaller round onion, I wouldn't have had to cut it in half. And we're just putting it all in this bowl. So let me get this tomatoes cut, and I'll be right back with you, okay? Okay, so I've got my tomatoes and onions cut and put over in my bowl. Now, I went out into my garden and I picked some fresh parsley. And I'm going to put this, cut it up, and put it in there. Now, if you have basil or want to use basil, put that in there. It would be amazing. Let's get a few more pieces here. We're going to hold some back for garnish. So let's set this aside. So what I do, and I washed it real good, is I'm going to gather this up in a bunch and get it as tight as I can. And I'm going to chop it up. Watch your fingers. And look, I'm just going to put it right in there. Let's get that extra off my hands. We want to use it, don't we? Okay. Now, I have some olive oil, and I'm going to drizzle this really good with olive oil. And I'm going to use some salt and pepper. Use as much salt or as little as you want. That's about a half a teaspoon. That's not even half a teaspoon. It's probably about a quarter of a teaspoon. And black pepper. And you know what? I think I've decided I want to do, if I can find it here, I think I'm going to put some red pepper flakes in here. Y'all give me just a second. Let me find it. All right. I had to go out into my overflow, as I call it, and get it. But I'm going to put just a sprinkling, because y'all know that I just don't do heat. Just a sprinkle. And I've gotten my spatula, and we're going to toss this all together because I want all of this coated with the olive oil, the salt, the pepper, the parsley. Get in there with your fingers if you need to and separate it. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. Now, I've got my sheet pan here, and I have a roll of crescent dough, and I'm going to follow the cooking directions that are on this. And my oven is preheated to 375. This is the sheet. If you can find the sheet of crescent dough, use it. Thought that was delayed, wasn't it? But if you can't, and you have to use the ones that are in triangles, just pinch the seams together. Oops, I almost messed up. Let's spray our pan with a little nonstick spray. Now, we want it to come up right. Let's clean up our mess. Okay, so we're going to put this in our pan. And there's a little bit of tear. You know what? We're going to pinch it together because it's going to be okay. And just kind of spread it and push it and fill up that pan. And I'll bet you, I haven't tried it, but I bet you if you wanted to use a pizza dough, you could. You tell me what you would use. Now see, I just spread that out in my pan. Okay, so this is where the fun comes in. I'm going to shingle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay a piece of tomato and some onion. Now I'm going to break that onion up because I want it about the size of the tomato. Tomato and some onion. Tomato and onion. And we're going to go across and down with this tomato and onion. Now I'm going to come back on top of that, and I'm going to hold this up here for you in just a minute so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Now, see how I'm doing that? You get the idea there? It's so good and it's beautiful. And if we run out of tomatoes, I've got some little Campari tomatoes up here. We'll just cut them up. But we're not going to stop with this. I'm going to stick a little bit more down in there. So let me get this done, and then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to show you what else we're going to do to this, okay? So y'all stay with me. Okay, so I got that shingled. Looky there. Isn't that pretty? So what I did was I got all the tomatoes laid out, and then I came in and I tucked onion where I thought it needed some onion. So our next step, this is what's delicious. I've got some shredded parmesan, and I'm just going to sprinkle, or you can use grated. I'm just going to sprinkle some on it. Oh, this is going to be so good. That's why I did not use a lot of salt. I've got some goat cheese. This is garlic and herb goat cheese. So let me try to get this open here. And we're going to put that on top of it. Okay, so isn't that beautiful piece of cheese? So I am just going to break off a little bit here and there across the top. Now these are 4-ounce packages. And I'm going to start with one, but if I think I need the second one, and I probably will, then we'll put it on there, but you use what you want. Tart. I think one is going to be plenty. So I'm going to only do one, but I have got to, give me a second and I'm going to go rinse these hands of mine, okay? Okay, so I got the goat cheese on there. You see what that looks like? Lastly, mozzarella. I've got shredded, just pre-packaged. If you want to use, shred up your own, you go for it. Y'all know, looky there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bake this in that 375 degree oven. And I'm going to bake it according to the package directions, which tells me to bake it 10 to 13 minutes. But as you know, my oven cooks a little slower, so it might take closer to 15 in mine. So let me get this in the oven and I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like after I take it out. Stay with me. I have taken this out of the oven. Look at that beautiful piece of artwork. Now, I'm going to slide this out onto the board here, and we're going to cut it, and we're going to try this now. Y'all, this smells so good. I wish you could smell it. Oh my goodness. Let's get rid of that. Now it's hot pan. That is beautiful. But we're not going to let that stop us from trying it, okay? So I chopped up some parsley and we're going to just dress it up. We're going to sprinkle a little bit on top of this and it's going to give that fresh taste like it did when we put it in to cook it or put it together. Okay, so let's try, what do we want? Let's try this end piece here. This looks like it's calling my name. I want you to see this beauty. Look at there. It's hot. Did y'all see the steam coming off of that? I want to try it. So I want to get some tomato. I want some of that onion and that cheese. I want some of all of the cheese. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. You have got to try it. You have simply got to try this. It's delicious. It's quick. It's easy. Simple to put together. Very few ingredients. Now, what I would like to say, I was telling you about going to my brother's for the 4th of July to cook out, is if you want, let it cool real good. And it lets all those juices from the tomato and the oil settle back in. So cut it into squares, put it on a beautiful platter. I've got a platter at the ready. Put it on a platter and serve it as appetizer. Or you can cut it into bigger sizes like I just did and serve it as a side. So, but I hope you will try this. And if you do, let me know. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know what you would add. what you might do differently. And if you try it, let me know what you think. I appreciate you joining me today. We appreciate each and every one of you, and I'm so happy that you joined me today. Please like, subscribe, share my channel, and don't forget, hit that little notification bell so you'll know when we put out our next video. Thanks again, everybody. See you soon.